Morning. Go fish?
You know it.
Come on, John. How do you play go fish with John?
I'm not sure.
Hi, Terry.
Holy, Judy.
Good morning.
Morning.
I have a few questions about my part in the movie.
I just woke. Okay, never mind. What are your questions?
First, the bathroom.
You want your character to use the bathroom?
No, I have to.
Okay. Go. Freaking actors always need to be directed. Seriously, Taylor, how can you tell?
With John?
Yeah.
Easy. Watch. John, got any threes? That means go fish. No fours. Go fish. See?
It's unlocked. Unlocked. Open the damn door.
What's up, Terry?
Hey.
Terry, Keith, Terry.
I know Keith, Alec.
Anyways, Keith wants to expand his acting career.
Huh.
Actually, Keith can't act, so he wants to expand his stunt career.
Really? Is that so? What can he do?
He can flip, he can roll, he can all sorts
He
of...
cannot agree with you right now.
Keith, we talked about this. What can you do? He says he wants to keep doing what he's been doing for No Street Films.
Oh. He hasn't been doing much, like ever.
Yeah, I know, but he wants to keep doing it.
Doing not much.
Actually, he wants to cut back.
Alec, I have not had enough caffeine this morning to be able to deal with this.
Hello, Judy.
Alec.
I have to go.
Keith, nothing much. Yeah, man. It's good to see you. So you had some ideas.
I have a great idea for a background story.
Okay.
It involves a gypsy and a dermatologist.
Boy, I need my coffee right now.
Keith? Alec? What are you doing?
What's up, Roy? Just waiting to mug Judy.
Didn't you try that before and it went, well, quite miserably?
Yeah, but you see, this time my plan is foolproof.
So I was thinking her character would have to be a guard at the zoo for at least 2 years during her time at Harbin.
2 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So, what are you planning on doing?
Planning on mugging her as she walks out the door.
Oh, most original. Element of surprise. Yeah. Surprise. Oh boy.
And that is how she got her fear of heights.
From the flatbread restaurant.
Exactly.
I think we
Stop
can work that
nagging me,
into
John. I
script.
don't have any twos.
I think Alex is gonna try to mug Judy. Again? I know best on before Terry finds out.
Judy, those some awesome ideas. I'll see if I can
And I
make
have
sure
more ideas.
You
I
have
have more
ideas.
ideas, Terry.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
Great. Great. Well, okay. Well, I'll talk to you soon.
But I
Gypsy
have more.
dermatologist.
I
I
have
haven't
more.
forgotten.
I have more
I'm sure there is. We'll talk. We'll talk. Something wrong, guys.
No,
it's not.
Red Sox will wall, I suppose.
Yeah, that's nothing
even
wrong.
follow
So
it,
not,
so,
nothing to do with Judy and Alec and that little history.
No,
right there?
no, seriously? Come on. Yeah.
Punks.
Okay, guys. What am I? My director?
Yeah.
Do I make movies? Yeah. Do I do that? You know what a director? You know what a director needs to be? He needs to be a problem solver. I solve problems. All right. There's problems, and I solve them. All right. There's a problem out there, and I'm going to solve it. Now get out of my way.
I am so insulted. I do not like fighting in the rain.
This is all your fault!
Okay, their problem is just solved completely on its own. We don't have to worry about it, and I would stay away from the windows. Let's go back to the picture. You actually were not that guy. You were there in like 4 shoots, Dan.
He's not that guy.
Yeah, he was not that guy, but he were and not that guy. Anyways, as you guys know, we're not going to be in the studio this week because somebody forgot to pay the rent.
Okay.
Yes, somebody.
Yeah.
I thought it was you who forgot to pay rent.
Yes, I forgot to pay the rent. Right.
For a year.
For what?
Yeah, well, yes. Okay, so I forgot to pay rent for a year. All right, it happens. Sometimes those things happen. Anyways, we will be back in the studio. May not be this one, but I promise you we'll be back in the studio. Anyways, who's our guest for next week, Dan?
Bob Glowacki.
He's the guy that runs the studio.
Yep.
The guy we owe the rent to.
Yep.
Are we in the regular studio next week?
What do you think?
Lovely costume, by the way.
Hey, thanks. Happy Halloween.
Yeah.
And what are you supposed to be, Terry?
I am Dean Winchester from Supernatural.
You look like Sam.
That'll do too.
You forgot your costume.
I forgot my costume.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is all the crap that you do, Dan, isn't it?
Crap.
Yeah. What is
This-
that?
This is what I do.
Yeah. What's that blue thing mean?
That means we're live.
Terry, we're live right now.
Ryan, why didn't you tell us we're live?
Why do you think I'm holding the camera?
Why do I keep you around?
And we're live with the early late night live show, live on our YouTube channel in Exeter, channel 98.
Yeah, so Dan, go to the opening credits because this is really awkward.
Woo!
And welcome back to the early late night live show. We are on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, the early late night live show YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell. Sitting with me because he's got nothing else to do because the game got canceled because of rain. Mitch Fortier is here. And Mitch Fortier, Mitch, what are you doing, Mitch? What is that?
Nothing.
And, you know, she showed up because Arnie didn't, and she thought, I'm going to take her seat. Priscilla Mills is here.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Priscilla. Welcome back. I think you got to pull the hat back a little bit because you can't see
I
your
always
eyes.
love the, you know me, even when I did the movie with you and Arnie.
Yeah, it's a
I
fair
had
fight.
the-
Yeah, it was like
yeah.
the half, yeah. Yeah.
I just always love covering my face a little bit.
Yeah, just leave a
Maybe that's a good thing. I
a
don't
little bit of mystery.
You
is
a
what
closet
you're
closet voyeurist? Closet
know.
voyeur.
Just cover your face, Priscilla.
I love your guys' costume. Obviously,
Thank you.
you're a witch.
Yes.
Okay. Is there a particular witch you're dressed up as?
I don't know. They call it on the package a witchy witch,
A
whatever
witchy
whatever that is. But I was like, you know what? They had it on sale.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's the day before Halloween. So I was like, okay. It wasn't like the one that's too bland, which
Right.
is all black. And I was like, boom, this with tights, perfect. And I already had the shoes.
Oh, the shoes didn't come with it. All right.
These are usually like my concert shoes.
Ah.
The little platform, which is good because this dress is really long. I would have been tripping on it all day.
And Mitch, we were talking about costumes, and clearly someone forgot to have a costume. I did genuinely think about being like Dean Winchester. I thought this is just wrong. I shouldn't.
What could have you done differently?
I don't really have anything to do with costume. I just
Yeah.
never had a chance to go to the store to get anything. But you said I got all this baseball gear, and it's true. You have like the whole getup.
I'm actually not wearing my cleats because I didn't want to really walk around the floor in them.
Yeah, that's probably a
I mean,
bad
they're
idea.
rubber cleats, soles or whatever. But
Yeah, and
yeah.
it's too bad you were chewing gum before the show, which would have been great for the effect. and
Well, I was
everything.
gonna get some like beef jerky to stick in my lip, and
Yeah.
it would have been, kind of playing around with that. But then talking with it, it would have been like stuff falling out.
this
Well,
is
then
a-
you would have just
it would have
passed
been a
off
mess.
some to me so I could eat some while
Be
you're
sitting here having lunch.
You should have
while
brought
we
beef
were-
jerky. Did you bring enough beef
So,
jerky for
for
everybody?
No, but I brought enough large league chew though,
Oh,
so we could share some of that during the break.
what
maybe.
is it?
Just gum.
It's just gum.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
You're
It's
trying to
actually
s-
sour apple, which I didn't want. I wanted the regular, but I was like in a hurry, so I just
You have to
grabbed the
try to
first one.
stuff as much as you can in your mouth. That kind of sounded weird, but you know.
Yeah,
that type of show.
I'm
We're
that,
not the
I'm that
after
kid
hour.
that put a whole
All right.
package in his mouth.
Witchy
at one
witch
point.
over there. All right, what do we got
Yeah.
in the news?
So let's see. We got some between Maleficent and the Joker, they've been kind of battling it out the last couple of weeks for the number one
except
spot.
Maleficent has been failing in general, and the Joker hasn't.
So they're probably up against it for as far as covering their budget, which was like 181 million or something like that. So after 2 weeks, they're only at 66 million, at least domestically. So you can probably double that for worldwide for the most part. It's usually 60-40 split, but. Joker's, as far as weekend was concerned, the Joker Maleficent just took the Joker by like $200,000.
Right.
So it was really close.
That's not a lot of money.
So Joker is still, doing very, very well for, being 4 weeks. They're still killing it.
And it's almost up to $1 billion, I think, right?
Yeah, I think they're over 800,000 now, or 800 million. I'm not sure what the exact number was.
That's just crazy. Jack, can you look up what the actual full total of what the Joker is right now? Because I'm really curious about that. Because that is pretty groundbreaking. If it does $1 billion, it's got to be going up against the Dark Knight at this point.
Yeah, well, they were 1.3. I remember we were talking about this, and you said they were over $1 billion, and they were 1.3 for
worldwide
a Batman film. It was pretty wild.
And I still have to see that film. I've been
Joker?
wanting to go, but then I'm like, I would have to go by myself.
The Joker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Hannah are hopefully going to go see it this weekend because she's been nuts about wanting to see it. She loves Batman villains. I love Batman, so this is how the relationship works.
Yeah.
So we've both been like really dying to see this movie.
I think I might just pop in like a matinee or something.
That's the best time to go to movies,
It
though.
is.
Yeah, the tickets are cheaper.
Yeah.
You
It's not crowded.
Yeah, nobody else is there.
Yeah.
Pick your seat.
I used to go Monday nights. I used to have Mondays off my old job. And Monday nights, I would go to the movies for matinee to the movies, and just be pretty much by myself. And because I like going to movies to go to a movie, like whatever the movie is. It doesn't have to be a movie you see in theaters. I used to love just going to the movies when I had time. It's money, which is two things I don't really have right now.
Time and money.
Yeah. All right, but what else we got in the news?
By the way, Jojo Rabbit was in there. They're in their second week right now, and they've broached 1.5 million. So far.
What?
1.5 million domestically.
Jojo Rabbit.
And then the last line is the total domestically. So 1.5.
I've never seen 18,000 or like, wow. Okay. And Judy has $859, I think, this weekend or something like that. Whatever it is. In Jojo Rabbit, you can tell because anytime one of those films are going to be like, this is like one of the greatest written films of all time. Such a weird and quirky thing. No one sees it.
Oh, that's average per theater. $859 average per theater.
Oh, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah. As opposed to Joker's $4,890.
Which is better.
Yeah.
Considerably. That's better for what I thought Judy was going to do, to be perfectly honest. So, even though it looked pretty good. So, what else we got?
So there's this British couple that they're Star Wars collectors. Guy's 46 years old, has been collecting Star Wars stuff for like 34 years.
Sounds like my old landlord.
So something you might appreciate and probably can relate to. So I've seen pictures of that room, right? So it's wall-to-wall stuff, right?
Yes, the room that I used to my old apartment.
Right. Was that like you lived in that room?
Well, no. Okay. Long story short, Priscilla was like, what the hell am I doing here? I was renting out an in-law apartment from a friend of mine, and in order to get cut rent, I made a deal with him. I said, hey, I just need some space because the place was compacted with Star Wars toys. And so he said, okay, I'll give you a cut rent if I can keep some of the Star Wars toys in there. Now, our tech guy, Dan, who's in the opening bit, has seen it because they would do video chats, and in the background, literally the wall, like this looks like nothing. What you see right now in this photo is nothing compared to what this landlord had. You could not tell the color of the wall because of how many Star Wars toys he had. I went back to visit him the other day. I'm no longer in that apartment. You can barely walk in the place with the amount of Star Wars toys. And this is a big one-bedroom apartment that he had.
My uncle was huge with collecting Star Wars. He never took them out of the boxes or anything. I think he ended up selling a lot of, again, for money reasons and things like that. But he was big. Like a lot of the boys in the family are huge Star Wars fans.
Nobody can see your face.
I was telling you earlier.
Literally
Just-
can't see
just
you. Like we have no idea. It's just
like,
a hat.
Isn't it like a character from South Park with like the glasses, the hat down over the eyes, and, something like that. So
That would be me.
yeah.
Hey, Dan, was there a second picture of that for that series, or did you show them both already? It's curious.
There's a second one. Give me a moment.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Anyway, the difference between your landlord and your own place is that it was probably a 2-bedroom apartment.
1-bedroom apartment.
1-bedroom apartment. This was a 4-bedroom house,
And it's filled.
and they're moving because they need more space to get more Star Wars toys.
Whoa.
20,000 pieces.
Star Wars
Is she
toys.
collecting them too?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he
Otherwise-
was. He started 34 years ago.
Okay.
Apparently.
They must have some duplicates.
Oh yeah. No, there's no question about it. I mean, some of them are vintage toys and boxes and things like that. So
Okay.
I mean,
I'm assuming this is a photo of the wife here, not just some random woman.
yeah.
Okay.
So they met like 16 years ago. She's into Star Wars now, and they go
Okay.
to conventions and all this
All right.
other stuff. So they're they're into it.
Otherwise, there would have been a
together, but
divorce a long
I'm
time
sure-
ago.
I'm sure. Only 40-year-old virgin all over again.
Yeah. Yes.
We could
pretty
sell
much.
toys, for
Wow.
vacation. But anyway, so yeah, 20,000 items or something like that. He's got a full-size stormtrooper outfit, a life-size R2-D2. It's crazy.
Wow.
But-
Wow.
So, but in the spirit of Halloween, there was a couple of costumes that I was doing. Celebrity costumes. They get dressed up. They got their parties. They're
Yep.
not, they're humans just like
Donald
us.
Trump's got to be number
So I thought it would be
one
kind
of
of
the
cool.
top ones,
I didn't see it once, actually. I probably
Really?
saw 30, 40 costumes,
All right.
and not one of them was Donald Trump.
Any of
but,
them stayed? Any of them stayed in? Any of them stuck out? Did you get any photos of them?
Yes. So
Okay.
we've got some pictures, and
All
so I think the first one is Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Perry, the Joker, and Harley Quinn, the DC comic character.
That's a pretty good costume.
The Joker looked pretty good.
Yeah. Those look cool.
The next one was Tallulah Willis, Bruce Willis, and Demi Moore's daughter.
All right.
She dressed up from Lilo from The Fifth Element, which I thought was pretty impressive. Now I think she posed and got a professional photo or something done because it looks really cool.
They're Hollywood.
Yeah,
So-
because they can.
they can do this.
But it was I couldn't tell the difference looking at it from when I was there. Kate Beckinsale, Jonathan Volok. Jonathan Volok's a Paramount executive. They dressed up as Audrey Hepburn and Elton John, and they were out in public just shopping through some little convenience store. And but she looks awesome.
Wow! Oh my goodness, she spot on right there.
outside of being probably 3 feet taller than she should be.
Yeah. Audrey
Hey,
Hepburn's a
she
little-
does what I do with the hat, see?
But hers is
absolutely.
built
You can still see her
round.
face.
Yeah.
I don't think you
We're
realize.
just at the wrong angle.
Well, yes, I'm
So,
kind of short, so I'm
change your
sort of
angle.
low.
Let's
and
see
look,
if we could
there you
change
go.
it
Oh,
now.
so you're here. I didn't realize that.
Priscilla Mills, everybody. Thank you very much. Lily Pons. She's a YouTube phenom, I guess, and I started watching some of her stuff real quick, and it actually looked pretty funny. Like they mock it, filmmaking and things like that.
Can we get to a shot? I'm sorry.
Wait, what's wrong with it?
Yeah.
Did it?
No, it just kind of slipped it over around to the other side. It looks good.
Yeah.
It looks.
Yeah.
It looks.
It works.
It looks funny now. I'm sorry.
Well, at least now you can see my face.
You look like the Goofy witch in a film, a film now.
It would be like the Gitchy Witch or something.
Yeah. Okay.
But it reminded me of our guest who was coming up here, but Maleficent,
Yes.
which was a really impressive looking costume.
Yes, our guest is a very impressive looking costume. Here to more about. So who's this?
So
What
this
actress
is Lele Pons. She's a YouTube
Oh, wow.
phenom that does a bunch of YouTube videos and stars in them. And they're actually pretty funny. So they make fun of things that go on in films. Like the one that I saw, she's this woman's being tortured, basically, or questioned, interrogated in a garage, and she's like, he's like, you wait till what's her name gets here, and then the door opens up and the wind's blowing her hair back, and she's looking all superhero like, and then they cut to him and he's got a leaf blower blowing her hair around. so it's kind of gaggy and funny in that way. All right, so the last one is Halsey, a singer, and Evan Peters, another singer, an actor from American Horror Story, and they did Sonny and Cher.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
it looked really good.
Yeah. Oh, that's wicked. That's wicked good. He doesn't look happy.
No,
He looks very miserable right
well,
now.
the mustache is like this upside down. It's
No,
a
but look at
frown,
his
right?
eyes.
Frown
His
mustache.
eyes are just
so.
like, why am I here? She made me dress up like this idiot. Like this is that's what it feels. Yeah, you know.
I have
And
no
then
idea
she's-
where any of these
and
people
I
are,
know what
but-
she's
Is he
thinking
dating,
right now.
Halsey right now?
I think so.
Oh, because he used to date the other girl that was also acting on American Horror Story. Well, they were
Oh, really?
engaged.
Anyways, we have
Cool.
to cut the break because we got to come back with our guests. And that is going to
I know.
back up.
See, now that I switched sides, it's like,
Kate Epper says, "Hi, looking good, guys. Terry, what did you do on your birthday? I went to work." So that's what I did.
That's what a lot of people do on their
That's what I
birthday.
did. That's what I did on my birthday. Thank you for asking, though. All right. So when we come back, we'll have our special guest, Artemis Crow, and Mitch will be sitting in a chair. All right. We'll be back. We're
Peace.
late night live show Wednesday night.
Hey Terry, how's it going?
Hey, this laptop's having sound issues again.
Yeah, it seems to be a common theme around here.
Why would this stupid thing work?
Oh, I know IT. Let me take a look.
I feel like this happens every week. We really need to get on top of this.
I'm sure Dan's doing the best that he can.
Yeah, Dan.
Oh, there it is. You had it muted.
I do not have it muted.
And
Damn it, Dan. Welcome back to the early late night live show on every Wednesday night from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel, the early late night live show YouTube channel. Please, 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 please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Leave a comment during the show because we want to be back in our studio. That's just it. Anyway, sitting with us is an author, an actress, and a very good costumer because we've talked about this right before the show that I don't think I've ever seen you dressed normal because last time you were on the show, you were in costume. Then you were a guest on my, you were an actress on my set, and now you are dressed like this. Let's.
I'm a pestilence fairy.
Yes. All right. Now, this was something she pointed out right before the show. Let's raise this up just a little bit so we can get a good shot of that. That's a heart. Yes.
This is your landlord that you failed to pay his
Oh,
rent.
yes.
I grabbed his heart and I shrunk it down for you.
Oh, thank you.
So you're good to go.
Thank you. We can go back to the regular studio then.
I got you covered.
That's a solid cane too. That's like.
I mean, be nice to me, Terry,
Yeah,
because I
I'm
may
trying.
have to like hurt you.
Your costume looks fabulous.
Thank you.
I'm not going to make fun of you the same way I made fun of Priscilla.
I'm just
I don't have a
over
hat.
in the corner.
I do have a flap of skin that is goes sucking in and out of my mouth, which is kind of gross. But pestilence fairies, I mean, what are you gonna do?
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So I love the way these questions are worded here. For starting off, okay. What the heck kind of costume is that? Which I thought, wow, that's just the way I would have asked it. So what
I figured you're out your interviewing style.
Yeah,
already.
there we go.
In
All
one
right.
show, I got it nailed. So this is a pestilence fairy.
Mm-hmm.
It is a species that I created for the series.
Mm-hmm.
And in the second novel, which is the Libra book, we talked about, they were introduced. One of them was introduced, a young child that was a pestilence fairy. I'm the pestilence fairy elder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the big bad. And I am in the next novel coming out before the end of the year, Gemini Asunder. Cool. So I wanted everybody to meet her.
So, okay, so you have, now these are all the Zodiac Assassins, they're all Zodiac signs and everything like that. Each one
Correct.
of the books is going to be named. What was the name of the first book that you had?
Lion's Roar.
Lion's Roar, okay.
Right.
All right.
So this series, and I know we talked about this a little bit last year, but for those people who may not have seen the show, which might have been 5 people in the whole country didn't
That
see the
might
show.
be big. Yes,
so,
I know,
so
yeah.
for those 5 people
It was
out there
the top-running
who've
show,
not,
right,
who
you know.
have not heard this, there will be a total of 13 novels and 12 novellas for this series, which is Mongo, but there's going to be 1 novel per zodiac sign, and then there will be 13th to wrap up the entire macro arc of all the through lines throughout the series. And then the novellas are sandwiched between each novel in order to give the women their stories their due, because they will play a more major role in a later novel.
Oh, cool.
So rather than doing a ton of backstory, which I hate, I like to action adventure, I decided to do these novellas. But, you know, for those people who are interested in the series and say, novella, schmella, I'm not going to buy that, you know.
Right.
It's just not worth my time. No, there's a lot of world mythology building going on in every single book I write. So you really need to start at book one, and you need to read it through, including the novellas.
Now, what are the, like, what, just give me what are some of the zodiac signs? Part of my stupidity here, but I'm just drawing a blank
Well, don't
here.
ask me to name all 12, because you know I'm going to forget some.
Yeah.
So in the order so far, I've got Leo,
Yep.
which is Lion's Roar, Libra, which
Yep.
is, the title of that book is Libra's Limbo.
Yep.
The next book is Gemini Asunder.
Yep.
The novel after that will be Cancer.
Okay.
After that, I don't remember the order that I've got them in, but there's
Okay.
Sagittarius, Capricorn,
Oh,
Gemini.
I want to make sure I had the right.
Taurus.
Taurus, yeah.
I'm Scorpio.
Ah,
So, right.
well, now Scorpio, you're going to love. Now, it's going to be novel number 12. Scorpio, if you can imagine Jason Momoa in Game of Thrones, he's the
Okay.
Khal Drogo, that, you know, the dark skin
Yeah.
and just the fierce character. Well, imagine him covered in scorpion tattoos, black scorpion tattoos.
I think he already
that
got that.
come
hasn't he?
out of life.
Right.
You know, they come to life, rise out of his skin, drop off, and they go kill his mark.
Wow.
And then they come back when they're done, and they sink back in their spot.
That's not how, like, I think when someone thinks Scorpio now, they're not going to think of a little, you know, Irish Italian guy with a baseball cap
Well,
and
you know,
a flannel shirt, you know.
Throw on some scorpion tattoos and you're there, Terry. Come on, man.
Yeah, I've got enough permanent marks in me. Like, I'm good. I didn't volunteer for the ones I've got. So,
Oh, okay. You mean
know.
those are scars?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, all right.
Well, you can see I've got a few. You know,
You
a
got
little
a few
bit.
marks, yeah.
I got
on the
some
neck.
flappy
I
skin.
like this one right here in the neck.
Well, that was a boil that just popped.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I cleaned the pus off.
Yeah,
So, you know, we
yeah.
can kind of gross your audience.
Yeah, no, it's
100%.
not just the audience.
Not just the so, yeah.
The host is sort of uncomfortable right now.
Well, that's why I just.
Yeah, now she's hiding her eyes fully here.
The Heidi witch. The
Heidi
hiding witch. Oh, keep those wings away from me. See, I got some blood, I think, on this one. So you got to watch out. I'm a righty, so, you know.
Oh, okay.
Watch yourself. Be nice. Be nice.
So what is the new release about then?
So Gemini Asunder is the third novel but the fifth book. So there's been 2 novellas out. And this is the story of Gem and Gemini. So when Gemini underwent a ritual that had a piece of demon soul attached to his soul, it split him into 2. So there's Gem, and then there's basically his feminine side, Gemma. And it's like having just half a soul, but it's not really a sign that has much power. So they are really struggling to figure out who they are compared to the other zodiacs. But Gemma is, you know, they've got a lot of battles that are about to come. Jim wants to run and hide. He wants to go hide deeper into the in-between and get away from the death and destruction that's coming. Gemma's the opposite. She wants to fight because her attitude is there are billions of lives in all the worlds that are at stake, and we have to do everything as zodiacs to save as many lives as we can. So that's something that they have to reckon with throughout this action-adventure story. They've got to decide what are they willing to sacrifice to find their own life,
Right.
to have their own life. So it's just any more information than that.
No,
you know, I'm going to give
get
away.
the book.
I'm going to give away
Right.
too many secrets, and I don't want to spoil it.
So where can people go? When's the book being released? Is it
It'll be
released yet?
before the end of the year,
Before the end of
so you know, I'm going to be pushing. So probably mid-December is when it'll be out. It'll be out on Amazon in print and ebook. It'll be on Barnes & Noble, Nook for ebook, and then also if you have an Android device and want an ebook, you can go to Kobo. And get it.
And I usually ask this to my guests. This is not obviously in the questions, but if there's a bit of advice you would give to a writer or someone who wants to write, what would it be?
Oh, you would ask that, gotcha.
I do, yeah.
If you're going to be self-published, I'd say the very first thing that I wish I had done was go ahead and set yourself up with social media.
Right.
And even before you've put your first book out there, go ahead and get your name out there. Start building up, you know, what are your stories going to be about? Who are you? If you don't have any stories yet, you're not even sure what you're going to write, start branding yourself as an author. Just do it. After that, if I was going to give a second piece of advice, going back more to writing, I would say the wonderful words of a writer named Nora Roberts. She's a romance writer. And she said, you can't edit a blank page.
Yeah.
So I don't care if what you're writing is vomit on the page, is what I call it, and a lot of people call it. Just write. Just get it on the page because you can always go back and fix it.
I just got in a mentorship program on one of the Facebook filmmaking sites, and someone reached out to me, and I said, well, the first thing you do, she said she wants to write a script. I said, first thing you got to do is you got to get a beginning, a middle, and an end. And it's exactly it, because you can't steer a bicycle that isn't moving, and you can't edit something that's not there. Until you have something, you got nothing you can work on.
Correct.
You know?
But I don't know if this is true with screenwriting, since I'm not a screenwriter, but with fiction writing, you've got what they call plotters, which are people who are extremely anal. I mean, they've got Excel spreadsheets that, down the line with every single scene and every, ending and middle and beginning of each individual scene. Then you've got a pantser who just writes by the seat of their pants.
I've heard the pantser one before.
Pantsers are writing by the seat of your pants.
And one of our tech guys is raising his hand. Apparently, that's how he writes.
Is that how you write?
Yes, so.
Who was that? Was that Dan?
Yeah.
Hey, Dan.
Damn it,
How are you
Dan.
doing over
Yes.
there?
Yeah.
This boil over here is just for you, babe. Right here. If it was squeezable, it's not quite ready to pop. But anyway, so pantsing and plotting, those are two. And then you've got the people that are kind of in between, like me. Well, I'm going to keep talking since Terry is like over here. We've lost Terry. So, hi, Priscilla.
Hi.
So we'll have the ladies take over for a while.
There we
You all right, babe? Does he need Kleenex? You need Kleenex?
I'll be all right. I'll be all
okay.
right.
The last time I saw him.
So I write kind of in between. I like to have my turning points. So I need the beginning, the middle, the end. I need to have every turning point, which kind of divides it up into thirds, just like a screenplay is, having the first, second, and third act.
Yep.
So I like to have that figured out. I call it the skeleton. I like the skeleton all figured out. I know exactly the emotional beats and the action beats, and then I start writing. And in between, I'm able to, play a little bit and have a little bit of freedom.
Well, that's what I tell people about scripts. Like, I'd say you have to write an outline. You write a very rough outline, and then you just add details. I said, just keep adding details to your outline, because then before you know it, you're gonna have a script.
Yep.
And I've written books before. You absolutely need an outline, because there's too many bloody words. Like there's so many words.
Yeah.
If you don't know where you're going with it, you will never get there. And you could get lost on a tangent. And
you do, but
Yeah.
the beauty is you can go back and edit.
Yeah.
So let yourself be free to do those tangents, because you never know what nuggets you might find in that little tangent or that 5-10 page tangent you took.
Yeah.
It might take you in a direction you actually really need to go anyway. So don't be
somewhere
afraid to
between
do that.
Pantser, somewhere
and plotter.
between. Right,
Yeah, I'm
Pantser
in
and Plotter.
between.
Yeah.
I'm in between. But yeah, it's all good. It's all,
Like when we were talking off camera or before we started, now you were saying, because you have like a deadline, do you ever get nervous that you might not reach a deadline? Or...
You see these dark these dark eyes? This is real. This is real. No, yeah. So, and the white hair, oh yeah. No, well, you do. I
Because you
try
have so much to write,
I do, but I give myself. Now, see, Jim and I did the National Novel Writing Month. You've heard of that?
I've heard of that,
It's
yes,
all
yeah.
November, so November 1st to November 30th. All these writers, you can write a screenplay in that amount of time.
Yeah.
But your goal is to write 50,000 words in a month, in 30 days. So I did the Jim and I book. I wrote 115,000 words in 30 days.
Wow.
Now, about half of that I had to scrap because it was crap. But that was not the point. The point was I proved to myself that I could write a whole novel, a big novel, in 30 days.
That's the
But
real deal, 150,000 words.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
And actually it's even bigger now. It's going to be about a 500-page book.
Wow.
And so I'm going to end up being like the J.K. Rowling books where they ended up,
Yeah.
I'm going to have the War and Peace of novels. The last novel is going to be War and Peace size. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah.
That's the other thing too. Like you have to find the line between disciplining yourself to get it done, but remembering that if you enjoy this, then you have to set aside time for it. You know? It's like being in a relationship. You have to make sure you are scheduling time for your relationship. You have to, just as much as scheduling time to work, just as much as scheduling time to sleep and stuff like that. You have to schedule time to do your art. I mean, make sure that you find that time, you make it work there, because you can get lost. Otherwise, you won't.
But when I get pissed off at my characters, unlike my husband, I can just get up and walk out the door and go play with the dogs. My husband's like, wait, we're not quite done. We're not done with this argument yet.
Not done yet.
hey, but bring it back. So you've got to sit down. You've got to hammer out the words. But like I said, just get it down. I think some people, and I have a hard time writing the whole first draft. And then, editing can be hard too, because you have to learn how to cut things out and say, okay, is this really important? How does this advance the story? In each scene, does this scene advance the story? And sometimes you have to cut your babies, the things that you just absolutely love this dialogue or this entire scene, and your editor goes, not doing it for me, babe. It's not helping the story. It's lovely, it's great, it's hilarious, but it's not helping the story. So
that's always
you
hard.
gotta,
Anyways, we're just about out of time though.
Oh!
I know.
Oh!
That's so quick.
So quick.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Got all dressed
I
up for
swear
that.
I'm not contagious, man. I swear I'm not contagious.
But yes, so all your books are available online on Amazon.
Amazon, you can get print or ebook. Kobo for Android ebook or Barnes & Noble.
Under Artemis Crow.
Artemis Crow.
And we will drop the link in the YouTube chat. And when we come back, we will have Trailer Trash. Thank you, Artemis Crow. And we will be back with your Late Night Live show Wednesday night, 7 to 8, Exeter, channel 98.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Dan, and this is The Vertex, your corner on gaming. We're not in the studio, so I don't have any graphics today. So we're doing this the old-fashioned way. Twitch streamer Jabo has been streaming Obsidian's new game, The Outer Worlds, the last few days, ever since it came out on Friday. And his times have been getting pretty extreme. On Monday, he did a 30-minute, 54-second run. That's right, this game came out Friday, and he's already been beating it in under half an hour. Especially after last night's stream, in which he was able to pull off a 24-21. Now, runners run these games out of love, and it's no shock to be seeing people still running old arcade games, Super Nintendo games. One of the most popular speed games is Super Metroid on the Super Nintendo. So it's not exactly a shock to see people running the game this early, especially since Obsidian, who developed this game as well as the much-loved Fallout New Vegas, has been receiving a lot of praise for The Outer Worlds. They did, in an interview, cite some worry about the length of the game, with PC Games N calling it a 15-hour game casually. Obsidian themselves were worried that players would be calling it The Hour World because of how long the game was, or how short the game was, rather. That said, Obsidian really doesn't seem to have anything to be ashamed of. The game has been getting an 82% score on Metacritic, so I think they're doing okay. For more information, you can check out the earlier Late Night Live show, subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and watch us live every Wednesday night at 7 on Channel 98.
We've got to change that opening video. That's just way out of date here. Of course, we probably should get a studio before we do that, but it is our favorite segment of the show, Trailer Trash, and KJ's not here, so Priscilla, whose eyes we cannot see. Can we see you from now? Can we see your eyes?
You should be able to.
Can we see? Yes, we can see her. Oh, there she is. Yeah. Yes, there she is. All right. But it is our favorite segment of the show. You have to slide over, though, because you're kind of out of frame.
You're...
Am I too much away?
Do I smell?
Yeah, it's the baseball smell, being out in the field all day long, all right?
Baseball players, that happens. You know,
Yeah.
we're working really hard out there,
Yeah,
sweating in
yeah,
the sun
yeah,
and whatever's
yeah.
running around.
Yeah. A little bit of rain comes along, though. You guys are gone. But we don't talk sports in the show. So, anyways, what's no sports, no politics, no swearing. But what do we have for what's our first trailer we have?
So we got Daybreak. It's an original Netflix series.
All right, let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
And it is a comedy drama created by Brad Payton and Aaron Eli Colliette. I think that pronounced his name. I feel like KJ in this moment. Series follows the story of a 17-year-old Canadian high school outcast, Josh Wheeler, searching for his missing British ex-girlfriend, Sam Dean, in a post-apocalyptic Glendale, California. And goes on to say some more, and then he's turned pacifist samurai. Josh tries to stay alive amongst the horde of Mad Max-style gangs, zombie-like creatures called ghoulies, and everything else this brave new world throws at him.
This looks kind of like almost Zombieland type of feel to it.
Just a lot more comedy.
A lot more comedy. And it's just there is some funny shots in this. I'm not interested. To be perfectly honest, I'm really just not interested. It wasn't funny enough to grab my attention. It is kind of unique, but it's almost like, to me, it feels like some of these types of jokes are almost like just played. It's high school humor. It's high school humor in a zombie apocalypse. I've never really been interested in high school films, and I have very little interest in zombie apocalypse type films, with the exception of Zombieland itself. So, that's my thoughts on it. Priscilla, what's your thoughts on this?
I agree with you on that. Like, I watched the trailer earlier, and I was like, I feel like maybe if I was still 12 or 13 years old, I might like something like this to watch, but right now, no.
Yeah, no, it just,
But I could see the kids getting into it.
Yeah, it's Archie Andrews in a zombie land. That's what it is. So, I don't really like violent things. I don't really find violence all that funny by and large. So anytime like the graphic parts that are happening in this, I don't think that's funny. And I don't really enjoy it, to be perfectly honest. I'm kind of a wimp. I don't really like graphically violent stuff.
Yeah, you're kind of a wimp, at least in general. Like, but on the wimp scale, you're from 1 to 10, you probably.
Well, thank you. You want to keep staying? All right.
You made the point. I'm just proving you right. That's all.
You don't need to continue on with this. This can go. We can end this now. All right. What's your thoughts on the trailer?
So actually, my take's completely different because there's I unlike you, I do care like violence for all intended purposes. I don't like violence, but I mean when it's part of apocalyptic world where it's kind of a fact of life, it's there. I'm curious to see how they create the apocalypse. It looks very tongue in cheek. It's going to be kind of over the top. Some of the cinematography is really cool.
Yeah, let me just say this. I don't think it doesn't look bad. I don't think it's bad. It's just not my cup of tea.
Sure.
Right. Yeah. It actually looks well made.
It does appear to be
well acted and stuff like that. It's just not my cup of tea.
Whether or not you are into zombies, whether or not you're into tongue in cheek and slapstick and the teen stuff, but there's a show called Sex Education, which is absolutely phenomenal, and they're all younger actors, high school actors. Which this, for whatever reason, kind of reminds me of a bit. And so I'm curious to see how the relationships develop because they're very real adult-like writing relationships in that regards. And there's some funny stuff in here. So I'm going to definitely check out the first couple episodes to see how it catches on and see what's up.
All right, well, let's go around to the rating. Priscilla, do you know how we do the ratings on this?
Yeah, so I'll do 1 up, 1 down.
1 up, 1 up. What's the 1 up for then?
No, because I still thought it was a little bit funny and say it's not something that I would personally watch, but I think people will get into it.
All right, that's reasonable. Mitch?
I'm going to give it 1 up for overall content and curiosity factor, and 1 sideways just because it does have a lot of done stuff.
Yeah.
Zombies I'm kind of a little over zombies.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to hold my thumb up so the camera can see. Also, I'm going to go 1 down because it's just not my cup of tea. And I'm going to go 1 sideways because, judging by the trailer, it doesn't look bad. It's just not my thing. So, all right. But the next one I'm kind of curious about. So what's the next trailer?
So the next one is a film called Countdown, and it is an American supernatural horror film directed and written by Justin Deck. Stars Elizabeth Lale, Jordan Calloway, Talitha Bateman, and Tom Segura, and there's there was somebody else in it. Oh yeah, no, that was the previous one. Never mind. Anyways, it's basically a group of people must survive an app that supposedly tells you when you are going to die. It was actually released on October 25th, so it's actually out in theaters as we speak. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got.
The question is, are people actually going to be making this app now? Because if this film makes pretty good, someone's actually going to go out and make some sort of app like that.
Yeah, it's probably already made.
I got a lot to say about this trailer, actually, but I'll start off with Priscilla, though.
So when I saw this one, I was like, this is really cool. They actually did do a couple of things like that, like on Facebook. We'll be like, put in your birth date to see like how and when you will die, like that little... corny kind of stuff. But for an actual app and like to see it, and we've always like talked about that, like we could find out if you when you will die, will you do it, and stuff like that. I thought it was really cool. I got really interested in this flick.
All right, Mitch, your thoughts on it?
So initially, it reminded me of something.
Right now, this part right here, where she looks in the camera.
Oh yeah.
This part is a genuinely good scare right there.
Yeah.
That scene, like, so just really quick. Sorry. It was
Yeah,
on the screen. I
yeah.
just
No,
wanted-
of course. Yeah, absolutely.
At the end, well,
Yeah.
So this got me thinking Black Mirror at first because it's very reminiscent of a couple of the stories that from that series, and so when I was looking at it, I'm thinking that was kind of the direction it was going to go, a little bit more thriller, psychological thriller, but then it started bringing in creatures and monsters, and I was a little confused by that at first, so I'm not sure how all that plays in. It just doesn't really get explained, but the trailer was really well done. They give you this storyline, and then they kind of give you this twist with her trying to get a new phone and get out of it, and then all of a sudden it pops back up, and it's not working, but then there's like this opportunity to get out of it, so I love the trailer. And this whole explaining the story and what you're going to find, and I'm like, this is cool. So
This has
this part here, too.
Yeah.
but I'm a little scared, honestly, and I'm not a big fan of horrors.
And you're
so
not a wimp, unlike me, apparently.
No, yeah. When it comes to horror films, I'm a little bit of a wimp.
I love horror films too. I love watching horror films. I've been watching all month.
So to me, my thoughts on this, there's a couple things I liked about it. One, I don't really like, I don't really like teen-centered films at all. In general, I really just don't. Every time technology changes, they always come up with some sort of horror film. Like there's a creepy instant messenger, then a creepy MySpace thing, and then realize that MySpace already was creepy, and then and a creepy Facebook thing, And this is like the next step. It's an app, so I think it's playing on a very good time for this type of thing to come out. Some good, genuine jump scares. The one thing I was quite impressed with, and I mentioned this, I think I mentioned this during the break, there's no sleaze in the trailer, which I'm very happy about. There's no, like, some girl in her underwear getting chased down the street type of thing. There was, like, there's, in the whole trailer, there was no sleaze in the whole trailer. And they said, it looks like they're just going to make a horror movie that has some good little bits of humor that don't detract from the severity of the movie.
Right.
Which I was impressed with the humor. The humor was funny. It didn't take away from the seriousness.
Yeah, it was that dry humor, like that chuckle humor, right? As opposed to the writing trying to make you laugh.
What shows too is like mostly they want to base it off the content that they're giving you.
And so I'm actually really curious about this horror film. Like I'm genuinely curious. So I'm going to jump the rating, and judging by the trailer and judging by what I see in it, I'm actually going to give this 2 thumbs up because I'm not a horror film guy, but this is a horror film I want to see. So for something that's not my type of content by any stretch, this has gone beyond that, and it made me want to see it. So Mitch, your thoughts on this?
So taking my own, I'm going to do something a little bit different, taking out of the fact that I'm not a big horror film person, I think the film's got really great potential, so I'm giving it 2 thumbs up.
Okay, all right.
I love horror, and even though I'm not a teen, if this app came out, I'd probably download it. So
yeah, that's a good question. Mitch, would you download the app? Because I sure as hell wouldn't. I'm Sicilian. I'm very superstitious.
Yeah, me too. No, I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to live with myself. I don't think. No.
Yeah, no. You just don't. No. You just don't do. No.
That would be the perfect excuse if they tell my parent I'm like 37 now. I'd be like, see, I was right to party all those years.
By show of hands, we're going to go around the room. Artemis Crow is behind the camera right now. Artemis, by show of hand, would you download that app?
Heck no.
All right. Heck no, she says. Jack, thumbs down. Ryan, thumbs down. Dan, thumbs down. You are alone.
I'm the only one.
Now,
brave girl.
So she's on the, so she's higher on the.
Even than I am in that regard. So just total. I'm like pretty high.
Yeah, self-appointed high on the wind scale.
Self-proclaimed. Hey, you gotta believe. It's a fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Anyways, so I want to do a quick shout out to people who are in the Facebook. We're in the YouTube. Not Facebook. We don't like Facebook. In the YouTube, YouTube Live, who do you think has had the best costume tonight? Is it David S. Pumpkins, our director Jack?
Pumpkin
is
Jack.
It Priscilla Mills?
Hey, you're Pumpkin
witch?
Jack. That's awesome.
What type of witch are you now?
Oh wait, I liked what Artemis said before. I was a
Heidi
witch.
A Heidi witch, yes.
Heidi witch.
All right. Is it Artemis Crow as a, what was it called?
Pestilence Fairy.
Pestilence Fairy. Is it me as one of the Winchester brothers? All right. All right. Or is it, you know,
Say my name, Terry.
Mitch Fortier. Mitch Fortier. So let us know. Anyways, we're going to break, and when we come back, we will be going on a...
Say my name.
Say my name. All right. Anyways, it's our late night live show on Wednesday nights from 7 to 8 on Exeter Channel 98 and on our YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
What's going on? Oh, hey, we're starting a new show.
I'm hosting. So are we. I even wore my suit.
Yeah, we thought at this point it would be probably a little bit better to aim at a younger audience, so we hired Kate. And them.
Wait, them? Our names are them?
Shut up.
Except we won't talk sports, we're not gonna talk politics, just entertainment.
That's the same as my show.
Or not that original.
Get out.
Stay.
Terry, this is my show.
Want to keep your job?
You're fired.
Oh, what?
I'm here.
Show's canceled.
The days are often long for people who have to do a drudgery of a job. Some place they have to get up every morning and just force themselves to go to. Drinking down a cup or two of coffee and just dreaming of the moment when Friday comes along and they just get out there. When that paycheck rolls around, they're just wondering, is this really worth it? So throughout the week, we have to find ways to distract ourselves. And me, I like to go on a little trip to a place called Planet Jack. So, Jack, come on in, because we...
Really nice introduction.
Thank you. All right.
Can I sit in the middle?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Jack, you covered. Jack, you covered.
Oh, sorry.
Priscilla, you don't have to go away. You can, he doesn't
You can
have
join
wings.
us if you want.
Yeah.
I'm not huge, I guess. But
Yeah,
that's
we
okay.
don't have the
Hey,
usual
guys.
equipment. So
Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, good one.
Wow.
Thanks, Mitch. Happy Halloween, everyone. This is a minute on Planet Jack. Because it's my minute, I wanted to talk about video games, because that's what I do in my free time. So, some recent games I've been playing. Interesting.
But we were talking about this last week, just
Yes.
just so everyone knows. If you can't tell, I don't really play video games. I don't know if I ooze that type of knows nothing about technology. I am the dude shooting at the ceiling. All right.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing really good one time, so I realized I was watching the wrong screen. I'm like, wow, I'm doing great.
Common mistake.
Yeah. So and so now KJ also knows absolutely nothing about video games. And so we're both sitting here while you and Mitch were talking about, because both of you are pretty avid players of video games, and we had no idea what you're talking about. But Priscilla, are you a video gamer?
Good question.
No.
No?
I'm just saying, when I was younger, the Nintendo, stuff like that, and then I just lost it at a certain age. And then just like you, when we were playing, I don't know, one of the games now with the controllers, I don't know how to use them. I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like thinking I'm killing all these people off and stuff like that. And then I realized the guys they do the replay, and I'm just running against a wall. And someone comes up behind me and shoots me. So that's so much for me with the gaming.
All right.
Very nice.
Yeah. So Jack, now we turn over
But
to you.
I am a captive audience, and I'm very interested in hearing what you have to
That's
say.
cool. So I play video games every day. Not gonna brag. Humble brag. So one of the latest games came out this September 13th, was Borderlands 3. I have it for Xbox, but it's for PlayStation and computer. And I think it's a lot of fun. It's the third installment. Actually, it's the fourth or fifth game. Dan, you probably know this, no? Because they made a pre-sequel, and so they just came out with 3. Another one of their shooter-looters. They kind of revitalized that genre, where you're going... Fifth?
Fifth.
I've played all of them, I think. Where you pick a character, they have a certain abilities. You can be like a sorceress, or just a regular soldier, or every game has different ones. And you go around the world, and there's literally, in the latest one, they brag about having millions of guns They all have different abilities of, you know, fire, electricity, poison. So it's really just like such a variety of gameplay. And this one, it's on multiple planets. So there is some variety in location. So it's very interesting. I've liked it so far.
Okay, now
If
I got
were
a
to
question
give
to
an
ask you
honest
about this,
review.
Bob, as an experienced video gamer. How important is the story to you when playing a video game?
I like a story. Story's good. Just like a movie, you want a good story when you're being entertained. But it doesn't have to be a great story, I find, if the gameplay or you know, something else is better. You know, depends on the kind of game you play. You know, some people play multiplayer games just to, you know, they just play their Call of Duties. And I'm not like that at all. I would prefer like a RPG. You're the character. There's a story. Usually it's like you're the found hero, you know?
Right.
That's a pretty basic video game plot. But yeah, to answer your question, I like a good story. You know, the Skyrims, the Oblivions, and to bring up my next topic, the creators of all those games, no, they're not. It's just they created Fallout, actually. Just came out with a game October 25th. Obsidian just came out with Outer Worlds, which is just like Skyrim, Fallout, all those games where you are a character and you level up your skill trees. And you go through the story. You can do side quests, or there's like a major storyline.
How much does your ability to play the game affect the story? That's what I'm like really curious about.
You mean like if you're good at the game?
Okay, so you know, I'm older than you, and there used to be these books that would choose your own endings. You know, and when you read the book, you say, well, if you want to go through this door, you jump to this page.
Believe it or not, I did read those.
Okay, so you know what I'm talking about, right? So how the choices that you made in that book defined how the story ended. How much does that make a difference in most games with stories?
The one I was just talking about that just came out, Outer Worlds, it does make a difference.
Okay.
You can be a bad guy, or you can be a good guy who saves the world, or you can be, you know, it depends on your choices. It depends on, did I save this person? Did I get this person as a friend?
Right.
And with Outer Worlds, it's really like you can do anything and you explore and you meet the people there. And yeah, just
I think Knights of the Old Republic was the first one that I saw that came out, I think, that I played. There was an alternate ending, more or less. You can make a choice,
Really?
and then the ending would be X, and then if you decided to make a different choice, then it would be Y. But it was just one or two choices at that point. So
one of my favorites growing up was Fable 1 and 2. They were all about choices, and your choices mattered, and the ending actually changed depending on what you chose. So that is kind of like a choose your own ending book.
I do want to say, I wanted to always try the virtual reality games. I don't know if that's considered gaming too much.
No, yeah.
or-
Simulators, essentially,
nowadays
right? Like
it's
Sims and, yeah.
That seems pretty cool to do.
Those are neat.
That would freak me out. I'm not gonna lie. I get freaked out by a lot of things. Like that's like that. You know, yeah. You know, I mean, like virtual reality. You know, apps.